It was early autumn, and we arrived on the river around 1 p.m. We spent most of our summer chasing trout, but as trout fishing had been slow the last couple of days, we wanted to try something different. This section of river holds a mix of fish, so we thought we'd give it a try and see what species we could get on the bank. Armed with various lures, a small pot of worms and a pint of maggots, our plan was to fish each peg on the river, starting with lures for 10 minutes or so, and then bait for 10 minutes or so afterwards. Our thinking was this would allow us to catch a variety of species, and the decision to bring bait was influenced by the trout's recent lack of commitment to hitting lures. The first fish came quite quickly. Mitch had a small chub and it was on a lure. I'd seen a couple of decent perch in the peg recently, so I was aiming for them by trying a few different soft plastics, but with no bites to show, it was time to switch to maggots. Trying the float down the river quickly produced a small fish for myself. The maggots and worms were working. Mitch had a slightly better chub, and the bites were coming in thick and fast. However, from a species that we weren't exactly targeting, the minnow. It was fun at first watching them dart after our baits in the clear water, but they seemed to plague every swim we were in, making it difficult to catch on maggots or worms. However, a few days later I was on another river, in one of my final sessions before the trout season closed. I put on my waders and headed down to the river, ready to target some big trout. But again I noticed the minnows. This time they were chasing after my Rapala X-Lite. I'd wanted to target some smaller species on micro lures this summer, but apart from a few sessions catching rudd, I hadn't really had the chance. So I decided to put on about a size 20 hook and a BB shot, and then part of a leg from a creature bait. I were only planning to catch a couple, but I was really having fun catching minnows. I started to ignore the reel, casting with long lengths, almost like I think you'd cast with a Tenkara rod. I then dragged the lure relatively fast through the water, and this seemed to get the most bites. Anyway, after losing an hour of my short session, I was back to the trout. I had a few follows and bites, but only managed to catch one fish, which I was quite pleased with. Anyway, back to the bank. We tried a few more spots and did manage to land a few perch and a couple more chub. We didn't catch anything big, but that's not all fishing is about for us. We had a good few hours out in nature, caught some fish, and saw some cool wildlife. We discussed our plans for the upcoming winter. I'm looking forward to targeting grayling on lows as it's so similar to trout fishing, but we're both really excited about targeting pike. We've done a decent amount of perch fishing the last couple of winters, but the pike we've caught have always been by accident. So this winter we thought it was actually time to target them. We're currently getting together our pike tackle, so hopefully the next time you see us, we'll have a pike on the bank.